Is this thing on? Look at all the people. Come on. Time for dinner. Let's go. Time for dinner. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Executive Director of the Kids in Need Foundation, Dave Smith.
Good evening, and welcome to the 2014 Kids in Need Foundation Gala. Many of you have been to an event before, but I can tell you tonight you'd expect some differences in the program. And none of them will involve ice or buckets, or at least I've been told that, but I probably will watch over my shoulder just to make sure. Seriously, one of the things I'm asked on a regular basis is to tell about the stories and the impact that we as an organization are having. Tonight, you're going to hear from some important people who will relate some personal experiences of the impact that the Kids in Need Foundation has had on their lives. The date of the gala this year is obviously September 11th, a day that has so many feelings for so many Americans. This year, the Kids in Need Foundation partnered with My Good Deed, a nonprofit organization that led the successful effort to secure the formal designation of September 11th as a day of service. Today, millions participate across the country by taking time out on 9/11 to help others in need. These volunteer activities provide a positive way to pay tribute to the 9/11 victims, honor those that rose in service and response to the attacks, and remind people of the importance of working together. This morning, a group of gala guests that are here with us this evening built more than 400 backpacks filled with school supplies to distribute to school children impacted by natural disasters during the course of the 2014-2015 school year. Thank you for all your help with that. Now, please begin your dinner, and we'll resume with the program shortly. Thank you. Before I forget, we have two birthdays, probably more than two birthdays in the room, but two that I'm aware of. First is Stacy Bjorklund from 3M. And second is Brad Dembski, who is also the chairman of the board of directors of the Kids in Need Foundation. Tonight, in addition to birthdays, we really do want to review what we've done this past year, and we'll be telling you a little of our vision for the future. Next year will be the Kids in Need Foundation's 20th anniversary. This is a real milestone for Kids in Need that would not have been possible without the support of all you in this room tonight. Tonight, as we continue to review the past, we'll also present ways for each of you to stay involved with Kids in Need on a year-round basis. Now that you've heard a little from me, it's time that you listen to someone with some real authority, the principal. Please welcome Jenny Bay Reel, principal of Grace Hill Elementary School in Rogers, Arkansas.
Good evening. I am thrilled to be here, and I'm thrilled to get to sing the praises of the Kids in Need Foundation, and I'd also like to add 3M Corporation to that. I have been the lucky principal at Grace Hill Elementary for the past 25 years. The last 23 of those years, we've been designated as the highest poverty index school in the school district. We now have 92% of our families that qualify for free and reduced lunches. Now, some might mistakenly view that as a negative. And while I'm sorry that my family struggle, I absolutely love my children. They're so appreciative for anything and everything done for them, and they're happy to be at school. We give them 2 meals a day, lots of love, and we also do a pretty good job of teaching them what they need to learn. One of the perks of being a high poverty school is that we receive many offers of help. And though I'm very appreciative, I've learned over the years to look closely at what might be expected to get those offers of support. For example, one group offered to bring a free character program to my school if we would only guarantee that our children of poverty would buy 500 of their yo-yos. Also, one restaurant said that they would like to do a spirit night, but we had to guarantee 25 adults, after teaching all day, that would work their restaurant from 5 to 9 p.m. So when a lovely voice that identified herself as Jeannie Mock from the Kids in Need Foundation contacted me about this time last year, she said that the 3M Corporation locally had contacted the foundation and said they wanted to be involved in the community and that my school had been selected. Well, I was elated. A few weeks went by and that lovely voice contacted me again saying that every student in my school would receive a new backpack full of everything they needed to be successful in school. And if you know me, as you know me now, I cried. I was overwhelmed with that news, and then I tried to regain my composure, and I asked very nicely, what's the catch? What do I need to do, or what do I need to have ready? And the answer was from heaven. She said absolutely nothing other than have a room full of children ready for a surprise. And I said, wow, I can do that. Well, that anticipated day arrived, and I met Mr. Dave and Mr. Frank from the foundation at the door, and they were accompanied by so many chattering and smiling 3M associates. They poured in, they were carrying the backpacks that they had filled that morning. They created an awesome display of 550 backpacks on our stage. We closed the curtains and we had the children come in. I took the podium and I said, boys and girls, you are so smart and you are so important that people from different places in the United States have come just to see you and make sure you can be the best you can be. I introduced Mr. Dave and Mr. Frank, and they spoke briefly about the importance of education, and then the curtains were opened. I will never forget the looks on their faces. I have 39 years in education, and this is my favorite memory. Awe, shock, delight, and lots of tears, believe it or not. And instead of me up here, I wish you could speak to Magdalena, a then fifth grader who had come into that cafeteria too big for her britches and too cool for school. She came to me after our benefactors left and she said, Mrs. Reel, there are so many zippers and all of them work. She said, I've never had a new backpack in my whole life and it's filled with lots of neat stuff. If you could have received the call that I got after school that day from my PTO secretary. She said, my second grade son, Josh, can't stop talking about those important people that want him to be the best he can be. She said, you know, Josh ripped up his backpack in December. And with Christmas and bills, his father and I really didn't know what we were going to do. And this truly was, today was a gift from God. You might see the women from the battered women's shelter. My school's fortunate enough that we get to serve those children. And often these women have escaped sincerely in the middle of the night with their children, with merely the clothes on their back. And they always come in to register their children. And they always are looking down and they say, I'm sorry, but he or she doesn't have any supplies. And the foundation allowed me to get to be the one to go up and say, look, here's a new backpack. It's got everything your child needs to do in school. There are people all over this country that want you and your child to be successful. You could read the note that was mailed to me in August, last month, right when school opened. It was a grandmother raising her grandson. Her grandson, at the end of school last year, asked for a trash bag. Put that backpack in a trash bag and kept it under grandmother's bed so it would be nice for school opening this year. You might also hear my teacher saying how wonderful it is to teach all the class when they all have what they need to learn. I want to thank everyone present who had a part in making that happen for my children. And I'll end with this. Last Sunday, our minister, who always does a great job, he spoke a lot to the Bible verse that says, God loves a cheerful giver. I can say for sure that God loves the 3M Corporation and the Kid in Needs Foundation, and so do I. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jenny, not only for your remarks tonight, but what you've done in education for the past 39 years as well. This is a good time to honor all the educators in the room. If I could ask all the educators just to stand up for a second so we can thank you and recognize what you do every day for us. Thank you so much. 3M is the sponsor of the dinner that we're currently enjoying, and also the national sponsor of Second Responder, a program that was announced at the Gala last year that provides free school supplies to students impacted by natural disasters. This year we have distributed or will distribute basic supplies to students impacted in Mayflower, Arkansas, Pensacola, Florida, Verona, Wisconsin, and Napa, California, among others. As I mentioned, tonight we'll be providing you with opportunities to be more engaged with kids in need on a year-round basis. Each of you has received a challenge card in your gift bag, which looks like this. We call this program Go, Be, Do, and it consists of one of 7 action steps you can take to participate in the future of kids in need. Our first challenge is to ask you to step forward and purchase the backpack for the Second Responder program. So the next time a natural disaster strikes, backpacks are ready to deploy to the impacted community. You can complete this challenge at any time by going to our website at www.kinf.org. We are very privileged to count Elmer's products among our donors. Besides the product they make available to the resource centers, the Elmer's Teachers Toolkit grants they offer great opportunities for students to participate in classroom learning projects. Roger Pasaki, President and CEO of Elmer's Products and a member of the Kids in Need Board of Directors, is with us this evening to present the 2014 Elmer Award. Roger.
Thanks, Dave. I'm very pleased and proud to present the Elmer Award this year, a way to recognize the efforts of those who are reaching out to help their communities. Elmer's Products wishes to reward and encourage this type of support, so we created the Elmer Award, which stands for the following: empathy for kids both near and far, leadership to build their communities, mentorship to create friendships, enthusiasm for learning, and responsibility to make a difference in their lives and the lives of others. This year we added a new twist to the program to encourage more teachers and students to help those in need within their own communities. Our Elmer's Grant program, offered through Kids in Needs Foundation, asks teachers to conduct service learning projects with their students. As a result, we've selected a teacher as well as a student to receive the Elmer Award this evening. Our first winner, our student honoree, is Caden Topalis of Howell, Michigan. A year ago, when Caden was in the 3rd grade, I repeat, 3rd grade, he started a fund to help pay for school lunches for his fellow students. Please watch the video to the left.
students at Challenger Elementary School in Howell, Michigan learn important skills like reading, writing, and math. But they're also learning life lessons like empathy, responsibility, and service. Meet Caden Topalis, just one of the Challenger champions demonstrating these attributes. With over 21 million children benefiting from the National Free and Reduced Lunch program, financial struggles are very real for many families. Children as young as 8 or 9 begin to notice the socioeconomic differences among their peers, and they realize the difference between a hot lunch and a free one. Caden is one of those children, and he decided he wanted to do something to help. The first thing he did was start a recycling program. Together with his mother, they collected bottles and cans and raised $64 that they donated to the school as the first step in helping those less fortunate.
And I raised money for school lunches. I was in lunch getting French toast, and the kid in front of me had to put down his tray and get a cold cheese sandwich, and that made me sad. So I wanted to help him, and I went home, and I told my mom, and we decided to go around collecting money and cans. So we went to my school and paid off the delinquent accounts and put money on them.
Caden's mom says he's just an 8-year-old kid with a huge heart.
We're all very proud of Caden. This really isn't out of context for him. He's our big-hearted kid. People have deemed him the lunch angel, which I think is very fitting for him. So it's been a learning lesson to educate him that, some kids are in different circumstances. So this is helping other kids. And he's learned, like he says, a little thing can go a long way. It's a pay it forward kind of thing. He's just an 8-year-old trying to help out kids.
Even with measures in place to ensure that every child receives a nutritious meal, Principal Dave Cherry knows that many kids don't want to be identified with a free lunch. He recognizes Caden's empathy and leadership as examples of some of the great things that are happening in our schools.
Exactly that. Caden is a model at the school here, and as I said, that model of empathy and caring about each other. We see so many negative images in the news these days about schools and kids, and it's great to see the positive images because there are so many students out there doing good things, doing the right things, trying to be leaders, just like Caden did here, and we just want to promote that, and we appreciate the help of Elmer's to do just that.
A little thing can go a long way.
Caden's Pay It Forward campaign has currently raised over $35,000, and he's extended his program to many schools throughout the district. That first step in collecting bottles and cans has provided inspiration for so many others to help, and that help has reached far beyond the first little boy with the cold cheese sandwich. Not only did Caden demonstrate that little things can make a big difference, he reminds us that we have to take care of one another, even in the lunch line. There are heroes among us doing extraordinary things to make this world a better place.
Obviously, we were so impressed with Caden's empathy and initiative that he deserves our Elmer's Teacher or Student of the Year honor. We're also honoring this year a teacher, Melissa Fojo Gray, a 7th grade science teacher at St. John the Baptist Parish Schools in Kenner, Louisiana. The school sponsors a club called the Friends of Rachel Scott. This club is in memory of Rachel Scott, one of the first victims of the Columbine shooting. The club focuses on promoting acts of kindness, as well as intervening to prevent bullying. The project she chose to do, called Project Heal, not only incorporated the members of the club, but really included the entire junior high student body, hereby promoting the acts of kindness theme, not just to the club, but to the entire student group. Melissa's initiative truly embraces both service learning and the community. Melissa unfortunately was unable to make it here this evening, and we were hoping that she can come up and talk about Project Heal. She unfortunately had an injury the last couple of days, so was unable to make it. But I think, as you can see from our 2 award winners tonight, our future here is bright. And we'd like to thank and honor those 2 award winners and give them another round of applause. Thank you.
Please welcome Susan Chula, Vice President and Divisional Merchandise Manager of Staples.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks so much for coming this evening. Staples honors teachers, as does the Kids in Need Foundation, as our country's most creative educational resource. The Teacher of the Year recipients were chosen because of the quality of the projects they submitted to the Kids in Need Teacher Grant Program in 2013. 2 teachers chosen this year as Teacher of the Year award winners were surprised by the announcements of their awards at their schools last week. Both were honored earlier this evening at a special reception sponsored by ACCO Brands. At this time, we would like to introduce them to you and present each of them with an award and a personal check for $500. Each teacher's school is also given a $500 gift card from Staples to buy supplies for their school. The first Teacher of the Year is Catherine Giles. A recipient of 3 grants in 2013, Catherine is an English teacher at Dillard Middle and High School in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Catherine?
Good evening. Look what the Lord has done for this teacher. When I started writing the grants in 2013, August, I had no idea that someone would think I could write anything good. What you've done for me, Kids in Need did for me, was validate what I've been doing. But before I begin, I want to thank some teachers that have made me. Mrs. Haley, my 4th grade teacher, who says, "Catherine, you can do it. You can do anything." I didn't believe her. Mr. Baldwin, my 9th grade counselor, who said, "Catherine, you can do anything you want to." Here again, I didn't really believe it. My 12th grade counselor, Mrs. Kipling, says, "Why don't you go to college? You got a 3.0. I said, "I don't have any money." She says, "I'll get the money for you." I attended the University of Miami free. This is what teachers have done for me. And as a teacher, I teach special needs kids as well. And I just want to say to you, I taught kids in Fort Myers, Florida, Fort Worth, Texas, Miami-Dade Public Schools, and Broward County Public Schools. I am so grateful that they allow me to serve them, because if it wasn't for them, I would not be up here. I came up with an idea for those special needs students for a reason. The books wasn't doing it. I had to think out of the box. And I came up with that idea, not for myself, but for them, because I know they can learn. So I want to thank all my students. I've taught over 4 different cities and states, because if it wasn't for the Kids in Need, and I'm going to give Kids in Need, thank you so much. Kids in Need provided me with a dream for my students. Kids in Need gave me an opportunity. They do change lives. Kids in Need change my students' lives, and they change my life. Thank you, Kids in Need.
Catherine, please accept this gift and award from Staples and the Kids in Need Foundation for inspiring your students and for bringing excellence in education into your classroom. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The second teacher this evening is Etta Razier. Etta is not only Teacher of the Year award recipient, she's also a shopper at the Twin Cities Kids in Need Resource Center, and she and her husband both volunteer there. Etta is a pre-K teacher at Fair Oaks Elementary in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, and was among the first pre-K teachers to receive a grant, thanks to the grant sponsorship of Joanne Fabrics and Craft Stores. And this year, Joanne Stores is a national sponsor of the Teacher Grant Program. Etta?
Hi, I'd like to thank you. First of all, I'm very honored for this award, and I want to thank all of you out there for the support that you give teachers each and every day. I'm a little humbled because I can think of so many other pre-K teachers out there that do every bit that I do in the classroom every day. And for those legions of teachers out there teaching our youngest learners, I just want you to appreciate that we're probably the only group of teachers that can find at least half a dozen goals and standards and objectives in how to teach Where is Thumbkin. So I just want you to understand and appreciate that, all the work that we do, and I'm honored that you recognize that, and I want to thank you.
Etta, thank you so much. I'd like to present this award and gift to you from Staples and the Kids in Need Foundation for inspiring your students, and thank you so much for bringing excellence into your classroom. Thank you very much. Thank you. A big hand, everybody. And now I'd like to welcome Brad Dembski, Vice President of Art Skills and Chair of the Kids in Need Foundation Board. Art Skills is sponsor of the Teacher Grants application process, sending a packet of bulletin board and poster making supplies to every teacher who applies for a grant. They've also done the great signage and posters that you've seen throughout the evening. Brad?
Thank you, Susan. So nice to see you here this evening, and thank you for sponsoring the Teacher of the Year Awards. The Teacher Grant Program is one of the original programs of the Kids in Need Foundation. Although the grants are presented yearly, they're really an investment in the future by exposing students to these wonderful learning experiences. Some of this year's grants are specific to different subject areas, which is the future direction of the program. BIC is sponsoring handwriting grants. Dollar General is sponsoring literacy grants. And 3M is sponsoring grants that make creative use of their Command brand products. I encourage all of you here tonight to give students unique experiences by becoming a sponsor of the Teacher Grants program. Kids in Need will discuss with you how specifically focused projects will not only help students, but will draw attention to your product or service. This will be a good thing for your company and for the teachers and students you fund to get the supplies they need to learn. This year, thanks to the generosity of Target, Kids in Need Foundation received the largest single donation in its history. Please watch the video on the screen. Thank you.
The future of the Kids in Need Foundation is more awareness of what we do and how what we do does change lives, and you heard a little bit of that this evening already. This increased awareness is extremely important to our cause. Whether it's through TV commercials or through a conversation with a friend, you can help us raise awareness. Your second opportunity challenge for this evening is to become a voice for kids in need. We challenge you to choose a friend or a coworker to invite to lunch, just to talk about your support for the Kids in Need Foundation. The Back to School campaign at Target, described in the commercial you just saw, provided $25 million worth of school supplies. Think about that for a minute. School supplies are not real expensive items. Pencils, pens, $25 million is a lot of supplies. This product donation is going to make a difference in the lives of literally millions of students across this country. While we at the foundation are evaluated on how much cash we raise or how much product we distribute, the real benchmark for us and our success is how many students we're able to reach with school supplies. In 2013, we were able to reach 3.6 million students. It's our goal this year and the next year to increase that number to more than 4.8 million students. The donation of product that I mentioned was so wonderful, but we had another partner in this project as well. $25 million worth of product equated to almost 200 containers of product. Kids in Need Foundation has 13 staff members and no warehouses. What do we do with $25 million worth of product and 200 containers? We went to a company here called Distribution Alternatives, Shoals, and they distributed all the product for us. I'd like to ask them to stand up tonight. Tonight, we will share stories from two students that have been impacted by receiving school supplies from the Kids in Need Foundation. Please join me in welcoming Jack Quinn.
Before I start this, I was wondering if you guys can be in my selfie video. You know, I gotta prove to my friend that, you know, I'm out here making a difference. Yeah, so you guys gotta make some noise when I start filming. I'll post that later. Thank you. Well, do I look okay? Thank you. My name is Jack Quinn. I'm 19-year-old, about to be 20 soon, a couple weeks, you know. I'll give you guys my address later if you guys want to ship me something. I'm from Seattle, Washington, White Center area, the real Seattle. You know, a bunch of people that I know say they're from Seattle, but like they're like 50 miles out of Seattle. Yeah. I come from a Vietnamese-oriented family. I'm the oldest of 3 children. I currently attend Eastern Washington University. I'm the first person in my family to go to college. Growing up, it was pretty hard because my family is a low-income family. Receiving supplies was, getting school supplies was pretty difficult for me and my family because it was either my mom or my parents didn't have the time for me, or they just didn't have the budget cuts to help me get the school supplies. So when they did have time for me, it was that they had to cut some of the money from the budget for, like, instead of using that money for like food or extra billing, they would use some of the whatever that's left over for my school supplies for me and my siblings. And when they did have money, they didn't have the time. So my parents, they worked like 7-8 hours shift, like most of y'all. And it kind of sucks that my parents aren't home to, you know, help me pick out school supplies like a normal parent should, because, you know, they don't have time. They're out there trying to make money so me and my siblings can eat. So when I did start receiving school supplies from the Teachers Research Center in Seattle, that was a big stress reliever for my family. my mom didn't have to worry about, getting me a ruler or a pencil for school because, they were provided in my school district. And of course, it was a stress reliever for myself because, I didn't have to worry about running around the classroom like, oh, hey, you guys got a pencil? You guys got a paper? I didn't have to worry that. All I got to focus on when I have the school supplies is my education. I feel like providing all the school supplies that was already provided for me, I feel like education just falls into place because there's nothing else I should worry about except my grades, so there shouldn't be any excuses. So I started volunteering for the Teachers Resource Center after that. I've been volunteering since the 8th grade. The reason for that, because one of my buddies back home, he was like, "Hey, you trying to go volunteer?" I was like, "What? Volunteer? Who volunteers? Like, I don't need that. They ain't paying me. What am I doing this for?" Yeah, so I was like, man, he's like, "Come on, man, just do it." I was like, all right, I'll just check it out. So I went to the Teachers Resource Center, and this guy named Reed Slattery, he was trying to run stuff, he thought it was a boss. Just kidding. Yeah, I met this cool guy, Reed. He, at the Teachers Resource Center, it made that was like the best decision I ever made in my life, basically. I felt like it really turned my life around. Yeah, man, Teachers Resource Center, it was like kind of a getaway for me. Like being at school, like where everything is so hectic, and we usually volunteer like twice a week, so those 2 days out of that whole week was probably my basically relaxing day where I don't really gotta worry about who's gonna go beat me up or like who's gonna how I'm gonna eat. All I gotta worry about is just making all the teachers or just giving back to my community, making myself feel good inside that I'm doing something for my community. Man, the thing that I still love doing at the Teachers Resource Center that gets me today is that seeing the teachers. Man, dude, they come in and they look at me and they're like, what are you doing here? Like, aren't you supposed to be running around stealing cars or whatnot? I was like, excuse me? But no, like, they see me and I was like, I'll tell them, yeah, I'm out here, I'm trying to make a difference. I'm not out here, try to ruin things. I want to give back to my community, make this, low-income community, like a better community. Well, it has to end here. I'm sorry. Again, my name is Jack Quinn. I currently attend Eastern Washington University. My intended major is pediatric nursing. I would like to help all the young children. I feel like this organization right here, where it starts, I feel like youth is key to everything. Without providing youth or giving them the right education, I feel like that's gonna affect their future somehow. So I feel like children or youth in general is key to success. And also, one more thing. Yeah, I haven't told anybody yet. I haven't really told anybody this yet, but also because the reason why I'm also in the process of enlisting to the United States Air Force, and the reason for that decision is that I feel like instead of just making change in my community, I can go out and make change across the world. Thank you.
Please welcome Chris Cohn.
Oh my, Jack, you make us proud. Doesn't he? I am so thankful for all of you being here tonight. My name is Chris Cohn, and I am so honored to be the Senior Director of Corporate Partnerships and Development for the Kids in Need Foundation. And we couldn't be any happier than to have the inspirational folks that we have here tonight, the real folks that every single day are out doing the work that needs to be done with the girls and boys across our country. But absolutely. But as Dave has been ticking off the challenges that are on your challenge card, not only in your program, but also in your gift bag that you will get tonight, you have a third opportunity to support this evening. It might be one of your hardest challenges, but it's one that all of us on staff hope so dearly that you take to heart. You could be Dave's best friend. All right, I'm gonna say it one more time because I know you're enjoying your meal, but another opportunity that you have is that you could be Dave Smith's best friend. There you go, that's the one. But see, with this challenge comes is that you need to call or email Dave with the name of a person or a company that you have vetted, you know all about, and believe would love to support kids in need with either gifts of time, gifts of talent, and yes, what's near and dear to Dave's heart, gifts of treasure. Then, as is important, we want you to follow up with a thank you note because we already know they're gonna say yes to you and they're gonna say yes to Dave to be his best friend because we know they wanna help the Kids in Need Foundation. To further inspire you from our principal to our student to another young man, to further inspire you, we'd like you to meet this challenge. Would you help me welcome Jose Barron, who is also from the great Northwest. Jose.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jose Barron, and I would like to share to you guys about my story. I'm one out of 4 kids, a single mother. She'll be my inspiration to me because I'll see her getting up at 4:30 in the morning to just go to work for us and just try to bring food. And not only that, but just trying to always get home at 9, 10 o'clock at night and sometimes try to spend time with my sisters and me, but we understand that. We understand that being a single mother, sometimes it takes a lot of time to just bring the food to the table. And for me being the oldest for my sisters, it's just like, I'm like their dad. I'm like their dad to them because I'm there for them. I'm always making sure that they eat, make sure that they go to school, and I've been having a really powerful life, but I can tell today the Lord had put me here to just mention this to you guys. So if you guys see me starting to tear up, you guys are welcome to start tearing up too, if we need to. Well, I remember when I started going to school, I actually didn't have the school supplies that I needed to go to school, so I'll be so embarrassed, so nervous to just raise my hand and ask my teacher, you know what, can I borrow a piece of paper or a pencil? And actually, sometimes I didn't want to go to school because of that reason, not having the school supplies. And I'm thankful to the Lord that there's wonderful teachers in the world that they're always finding a way to get school supplies for their students. And I still remember my first day I had my first backpack. I got home and then one of my teachers came to my house and dropped it off. It was like a real beautiful gift to me that I got to just go to sleep with it. I wouldn't let go of it. Sometimes my mom would be mad at me because I wouldn't eat because I would just be sitting with that backpack. So So it means a lot. I can tell a lot of those kids that when they don't have school supplies and they need it, it's really hard for their parents. And I know that sometimes the kids don't want to go to school. So that's why I see that there's a lot of suicide involved in it, because they just don't want to go to school anymore. And so I know how they feel because I felt it before I lived it. And I still remember when I was 9, I found out my teacher was gonna start going to the Teachers Resource Center. And so that gave me more hope and more strength to just keep going to school and not be embarrassed on my classmates of me asking them to let me use a piece of paper, because I knew that my teacher was gonna try and make the right for us, just to help us, and my mom wouldn't have was so thankful. I actually have last month we did a backpack event in Seahurst Elementary. It's in Burien, Washington. I was walking in with the guys that I volunteer at World Vision, and the day that I actually came in through those doors, I saw one of the teachers there that she just was standing right there, and then I don't know where she just saw me and just ran to me, and she said, "Are you Jose Barron?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And next thing I noticed, she grabbed me and kept me for like 5 minutes, but just so tight. But the main thing that made me realize that there's teachers that care about their students. I remember what she said to me. She said, "You know what, Jose? I still remember the first day that we met." And so that's it was just so powerful for me, because then she goes, "Right now, I'm thankful to the Lord that they have you where you are." And I'm just so proud to be a part of it. That one of my things that I really want to do is that to be a volunteer, full employee at World Vision, because I want to give back to the community. I want to give back to those kids that are in need. And I know someday the Lord's going to bless me by opening a door for me. And I also want to say thank you, Kids in Need, because if it wouldn't be for Kids in Need, no kids would be in school right now.
You know, when we go in front of businesses across this country, manufacturers, retailers, within the industry and outside of the industry, we get asked all the time, "So really, school supplies make a difference?" I want Jack and Jose to go with me on every call for the next 25 years. Thank you so much, Jose and Jack, for sharing your stories, for being so transparent and inspirational, and at one more time, giving us the tools that we need to remind individuals that school supplies do change lives. Kids in Need is so very proud of you, and so very, very proud of the donors who've contributed to your success. At Kids in Need, we care deeply about the voices of all of our students, not just Jose and Jack, but all of the students that we're helping. And since we work with such creative partners, we decided to think creatively. So in May of this year, we gave cameras to to some students in an effort, some young, unbelievably skilled and talented young people, with an effort to empower them by giving them tools to tell their own stories. So let me introduce you to Dania and Danelle, Jasmine and Molly.
My name's Dania. I'm 12. I have a twin.
This is Donnell.
I'm Donnell, and me and my sister Dania are twins. Kids in Need Foundation gave me a backpack, some markers, and they gave me a notebook so I could write notes. If kids don't have what they need, it's like a turtle, how it goes into their shell and don't want to come out to the real world. When I found out that we got to keep all this, it was nice because I needed pens and pencils. You feel special when you get it. Making a video about myself. I like the world to hear about me. It's like we're gonna work on like an essay, but a video.
And what's it about?
Our life.
My name is Jasmine. I am 12 years old and I am in 7th grade. I want to share how it is at home with me. It's been really rough. I'm the oldest of 5 siblings. I didn't have a few notebooks and some markers, but Kids in Need donated school supplies. I was really grateful for them. I feel really excited because there's just a lot of things for me to videotape. I would say I'm just good at being myself. I like being myself. I'm always gonna be myself.
My name is Molly, and I'm 13 years old. I'm a big sister, and I care a lot about my family. It's been hard though this year because my mom's in school. She went to school the same week we started going to school, and that's really hard because my family may not have enough money for school supplies. The Kids in Need Foundation gave us backpacks, notebooks, pencils, and using those tools can make a big difference.
Aren't you just so glad you got a snippet of Dania and Danelle and Jasmine and Molly? Well, we are too. And the nicest thing is that you can jump on to our website at www.kinf.org and see the full videos and the longer videos about the lives of our young filmmakers on our website. So please do that. You will love it, and it will only give you more of a full-blown feeling of what these young people are dealing with in their young but very adult lives. So, switch it up. I'm now going to get to introduce Kurt Johnson, our wonderful auctioneer for an evening next chapter that you are gonna love. Get your pens ready, get your checkbooks ready, get your lives ready. Kurt Johnson. Every single one of you represents an individual or a manufacturer or a retailer who has been instrumental in the success of kids in need, impacting 3.6 million girls and boys across our country. And all the teachers that they look up to and smile and sometimes not smile and love and sometimes love more. But tonight's event is underwritten by just a group of friends that we at the Kids in Need Foundation are honored to call literally family and friends. So tonight, as you walked in to, and for those of you who have been here for a while, you know that how you entered tonight should have given you a clue that it was not going to be the same event that you have gone to before. And many of the Kids in Need team members and Twirl made sure that that was not what you thought. But it was because we had a wonderful new sponsor handling all of our reception area, which was Crayola. And did not that pop? Woo! That was great. Fun, fun, fun. Fun. I had my years that I wore my Target red, and I had my year that I wore my Elmer's orange. And tonight, I'm wearing my Royal Crayola blue. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How many of you, and I'm gonna be very sexist when I make this comment, how many of you women noticed, other than the 3M guys, that your napkin ring was 3M special tape roll? So do not just put it at the top of your table. Thank them for your fabulous dinner and for what you're gonna take home with you and embellish that package, that gift, that birthday present, that envelope, that whatever. It's fabulous. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Now for years and years and years, we've had a dinner speaker. Tonight we've had many inspirational speakers, and our wonderful friends at Doris, underwrote, yay, Doris, all the Catan folks, we just love them. They underwrote our speakers for tonight. And for first time only, with one of our brand new friends and family and partners, we have an after party, as they would say, a you better be that, you be there after party. So that's gonna be fun. So you be. In addition to that, at your table, the decorations, weren't they out of this world? The colors, the tables, the chairs, the wrappings, everything. Thank you, Mega Brands. Blue Sky. Blue Sky. They not only have, for the last 4 years, been our challenge sponsor, but I'm gonna out them a little bit. They were also the folks who, in addition to their challenge sponsorship, did $5,000 tonight in the challenge. So, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Roger, Elmer's and its Elmer's Teacher Toolkit has been just a godsend to us as far as giving us inspiration within our teacher grants. But you took it over the top when you brought us the Elmer Award. For 2 years, it was for youth, and this year you added a teacher. And what it did, it was community service and giving back, which is all what Elmer's is, and we thank you so very, very much. ACCO Brands, not only do we have the sponsorship of the Teacher of the Year reception, but we have the continued commitment of all of the backpack events and all of the work that is done to support teachers and schools throughout our country. art skills. Brad Dembski is our chair of the Kids in Need Foundation Board of Directors, and all the signage tonight is underwritten by Brad, who just turned 50 yesterday, and his dad looks younger than him. Totally. Cy, you are an ace. You are an ace. We love you. And we're glad you brought your son tonight. Staples. Susan, we cannot thank you enough, and the entire Staples colleague, for being a supporter of the Teacher of the Year Awards. Whether you look at Etta, whether you look at Catherine, you just know that there are hundreds and hundreds and thousands of Ettas and Catherines and Carls and Earls across our country who are inspiring girls and boys every single day in their classroom, and we cannot thank them enough. Horizon Group, thank you. Horizon Group did all your wonderful registration and the name badges, and as I love saying to Tom Caulfield, Pilot Pen, smile, because you brought us the photography tonight. So thank you so very, very much. This brings us to our fourth opportunity for support, and no, you do not need to be friends with Dave one more time. What we're gonna ask you to do is to challenge you to be an explorer. We challenge you to discover how your company can make a difference for children who go to school every day lacking the tools to fully participate in their classroom activities and assignments. Become a national product sponsor, putting all of your products into the shelves of our 32 resource centers means helping students realize their full potential. So let me tell you who our current national sponsors are. Dixon Ticonderoga, our national pencil sponsor. And my dear friend, BIC, national pen sponsor, our dear friend. Crayola, national marker sponsor, and sponsor of the reception. Doris, national accessory sponsor and sponsor of the speakers tonight. ACO, national notebook sponsor. Elmer's, national glue sponsor. And 3M, national Post-it sponsor. Help me thank them all. There is additional item that you can be, and that is a backpack packer. A backpack packer. There is one more challenge after this, and Dave will share with you about it, but my last one is a backpack packer. We challenge you to purchase a backpack filled with 20 school supplies for the School Ready Supplies program. It will let a student know that you've got their back. Our last speaker tonight, our last inspiration tonight. Although teachers shop at our resource centers across the country, those supplies end up in the hands of our students. I know you know that. I'd like to introduce to you Leah Jones, a 4th grade teacher at Life Prep in St. Paul. Leah not only shops at our Twin Cities Resource Center, but she will tell you about that experience as well as about the impact that taking those supplies back to her students has on them and her. Leah.
First, I want to thank Kids in Need for this opportunity to speak to all of you tonight and share my journey with you. My journey began 9 years ago when I moved to Minnesota from Michigan in hopes of finding a teaching job where I could make a difference. I was looking for a challenge, and what I found was Life Prep. LIFE stands for Learning in a Family Environment. We are a K through 6th grade tuition-free public charter school on the east side of St. Paul, and we pride ourselves in not only giving our students a top-notch education, but also caring for our students as if they are one of our own. Truth be told, I had no idea what I was getting myself into or what life-changing experiences I was about to have. It all began one night when I was painting my classroom when the custodian started up a conversation with me. All the usual questions came up. Where are you from? What brought you to Minnesota? How many years have you been teaching? And then I was asked a question that has changed every part of who I am and what I do as a teacher. He asked me, so why don't you get a job teaching at a real school? And I didn't have an answer then, but I certainly have one now. My job at Life Prep doesn't get any more real. Real is Minnesota has the largest achievement gap than any other state. Real is that only 1 out of 4 of my students will graduate from high school. Real is the new 4th grader that came into my classroom reading at a 1st grade level. And Real is packing a 3rd grader's dinner every night for 2 years so that she has something to eat at home. Real is the little girl who called me in the morning asking me to come pick her up off the street, and the little boy who sleeps on the floor so that his sister can have the bed. Real is also Thanksgiving dinners at my house that I share with my students, or a class dinner to celebrate Christmas, or a trip to the ice cream store, and endless hugs and laughs. Real is making home visits to students' homes that haven't been to school in weeks, and delivering presents to students' home as part of our Christmas Adopt a Family program. And although some of my favorite things about Life Prep are those special moments that I get to share with my students, like watching their basketball game or a hip-hop recital, the best part of my job is seeing a change in how they see themselves and what they can achieve. I want my students to know that I see them as real people that deserve all the things that life has to offer. I want them to know the feeling of earning an A through hard work. And I need them to have those tools in order to do just that. Kids in Need put those tools in their hands. My students don't have to worry about pencils or paper. All the basics are taken care of. And on top of that, Kids in Need supplies things like watercolors for our Van Gogh night, jump ropes for recess, blankets for my students to lie on when we have book club in my classroom, and all sorts of awesome prizes and incentives. You see, I do teach in a real school. I have real students with real needs. And I choose to teach at Life Prep because there are endless possibilities everywhere I look. Kids in Needs makes it possible for me to help my students make their dreams a reality. Tonight, I am so honored to have this opportunity to thank each of you for supporting Kids in Need. In our tough economy, I understand how difficult it can be to make room in your budget for donations. But I want you to know that every crayon, every marker, every pencil is deeply appreciated. Thank you so much for making a difference in my classroom and the lives of my students.
Thank you so much, Leah. We're just about ready, Chris mentioned before, to start the after party. We promised you the format would be a little different tonight, and it is. So we're not going to say goodbye. We're going to ask you a minute to adjourn just back to the reception area and have some fun. We'll have coffee, dessert, chance to meet and greet other people, some prizes and to give away drawings and stuff like that. So we will continue the event. Now our final opportunity to support kids in need. Be a volunteer. We challenge you to share your strengths and your skills with us. Maybe you're here from the Twin Cities or from one near the other 31 resource centers across the country. Have time during the week to serve as a teacher shopping buddy or to restock shelves, to gather with a group to pack backpacks or coordinate a company supply or financial drive. Call or email me or one of our staff members to discuss ways that you can get more involved with kids in need. An event tonight, and I hope you've all had a good time so far and will continue, doesn't happen just by accident. We really couldn't do this without the support of a staff. We have 13 people on staff, our board of directors, and the event, the room you see tonight, is all because of a company called Twirl Events, who's in like the 7th year working with us. So we want to thank all those people participating as well. Again, thank you all for coming, and if I can ask you just to adjourn to the back part of the reception area, we will continue.